We still don't have an official winner of the last week's Democratic caucus in Iowa, and some folks believe that this was the plan all along. Joining me to talk about that is Farron Cousins from the Trial Lawyer magazine. Farron, God knows, don't you remember doing these stories in the last Hillary election? It was like, what? Can you pull it together? Lay this story out. I mean, everybody's heard bits and pieces. I don't think they understand how crazy this story is.
Right. You know, we wait for months. They spend millions and millions of dollars on Iowa. Everybody gets sick of Iowa. We hope it's over last week, and then no, suddenly this thing is still going on. I mean, we got about 99%, I guess, of the votes in. Bernie Sanders up by about 6,000 votes. Somehow Buttigieg ends up with more delegates, even though he did not get the most votes. But what we saw was exactly what a lot of people, a lot of progressives have feared over the last few years, and that is that the DNC still hasn't gotten their act together, and they don't even know how to conduct a caucus properly at this point.
Okay, well, let's assume that it's incompetence. I don't assume that it's incompetence. I don't assume that at all. But the incompetence is almost legendary already.
Right.
Okay, they changed the polling places at the last minute. They don't have an electronic system that can even count the votes. The people that want to vote, the phone lines are all jammed up. This is a system that was given, and it was supposed to be the system that was going to solve the problem. I mean, if you think about it, they've had a system in place that's worked really well for a long time, and what's it called? I think it's called the Salzer system. The Salzer system has worked in these primaries forever. It's foolproof, basically a foolproof system. But you got, Mayor Pete comes in and says, hey, I don't like that system. We want to use this system that was put together by who?
You've got Robbie Mook and a couple other holdovers from Hillary Clinton's campaign. And see, that's the thing, too, is this whole thing really does reek of some kind of conspiracy. When you look at all the pieces of it, I mean, you did have Pete's campaign that has made payments to this group that created the app that crashed and then delayed the results for all these days. So that's a little suspicious. Again, all the Hillary people created this thing. They somehow get this contract to do it. That's suspicious. Pete has the gold standard poll the day before the caucus buried because he didn't like the results.
Yeah, the list on what went wrong, this is a great list. First of all, the gold standard poll, as you call it, it's a standard that's been used forever. It's a Salzer polling system, and it works. Last-minute caucus changes. They change the location. People don't even know where they're supposed to go. They're running around like a bunch of chickens with their head cut off. The faulty results that are showing, they're actually changing the numbers in precinct by precinct, lowering the precinct numbers beyond what they should be lowered. And when they did the recount, they said, yeah, they're way off. It wasn't just mild that they're off, they're way off. The fake declaration of victory that CNN runs with. Oh, we got Mayor Pete, he won. And what do? They take Bernie Sanders and make him look like he's a loser, don't they?
Yep.
First words out of their mouth, Bernie's done. That's CNN. Bernie's done. We got Mayor Pete. He's the guy now, right?
Right. And as it turns out, as we mentioned, Bernie Sanders got the most votes. He effectively won Iowa. He was robbed of the opportunity to go out and give that big post-Iowa victory speech, which we have seen all the candidates always do, Democrat and Republican alike. And that's a big deal. Yeah. That victory speech after Iowa gives people so much momentum. They took that away from him. And that can't necessarily be recovered. Pete declared victory even before we knew how screwed up things were, before we knew we didn't get results. That's even more suspicious.
Yeah, and we knew the second part. CNN, MSNBC come in and Bernie's a loser. Pete's the guy.
And now they're telling us that, well, maybe Iowa doesn't really matter that much now. It's ridiculous.